Welcome back to another Shadow of War video, guys. So today we're going to be talking about mainly the channel that you're watching now and kind of what happened to the channel in the beginning of the game's life cycle. Also, apologize for not uploading that much content. Had some situations come about and also some, health issues that have popped up randomly that I'm having to deal with. So I do apologize. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we rewind all the way back to, I think it was like, 5-6 years ago? Oh my god, that's been a long time. Shadow of War came out, and the problem I had with Shadow of War on the channel was not that I didn't like the game or didn't want to play the game. It was actually the exact opposite. I wanted to play it as much as possible and make content as much as possible. However, the problem came to be the game itself. Let me explain why. I had got the game from the Microsoft Store on Windows, basically, and had got it for Xbox Play Anywhere. However, the problem with this is that the game for the Windows version of the Xbox Play Anywhere was super unoptimized. And what I mean by that is every time you went into the menu would be laggy, the game constantly crashed, there was multiple issues with frame rate, different things along those lines, and there was even a point to where when you even tried to start up the game, it just straight out would not even start up the game. You'd go to the main menu, you would click play, and it would go to load in the map and it would just crash. Or it would give you an unknown DDL error on top of that. So after all that, finally at some point I just gave up on the idea of sitting here and playing the game and making content of it. So the reason why is because it was literally out of my hands at that point. Like, the game is unplayable, it's experiencing bad frame rate, I know the computer that I had could run it, different things like that. So you fast forward a little bit, I got a different version of the game, and yes, a legit version of the game. And I sat here and played it, and it works, so that was great and everything. So that, started the fact of, oh, hey, now the channel can get up and running. But then we encountered even more issues. For instance, there was an issue where I had to get a brand new CPU because my old one was actually burning out. We had an issue where I had to get new RAM because the RAM that I currently had in the system just stopped working, like in my PC, obviously. And then, on top of that, I got a brand new power supply and had to get a brand new 1 terabyte SSD. So the hard drive that I've been using, or not the hard drive, the SSD that I've been using to have my system on for a while ended up being really slow over time. And it wasn't that good of a system, like it wasn't that good of an SSD anyway. It was like a 250 gigabyte SSD that was like something like, $60 to pick up or something like that. So after all this, I was like, okay, we're just gonna sit here and we're just gonna do some upgrades. Okay, everything's, great. The SSD upgrade came very last, But then we had a problem with the microphone. Oh man, what happened to the microphone? Well, I went from a microphone that I had before, which was a Audio-Technica AT2020, I believe is what I had at the time, to, well, no, it was an MXL. I went from an Audio-Technica AT2020, which was USB, to an MXL 770, and I loved the sound of that mic. And then I finally picked up one of my dream microphones that I've always wanted, which is a Rode NT1, and that's what I'm speaking into now. The problem here is that I go from USB to XLR, so I had to figure out everything to do with XLR. For instance, you can't just sit here and record stereo sound for an XLR microphone, because it doesn't work like that if you're just using an XLR cable. So you have to do it mono, and that took me a while to get because I was like, why is this not working? And then on top of that, I had to get a new audio interface, multiple problems. Then we had an issue where even though I plugged in the audio interface, there was a problem where, oh hey, it keeps spiking, or there's a weird scritchy noise in the background. I don't know why this is happening. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why essentially the channel died is because of the fact that in the very beginning, the game didn't work. And I was sitting here, I was trying to get in contact with the Shadow of War Twitter. I was trying to make stuff on the forum posts and everything like that, to no avail. You know what I mean? Like, there was no response about it. There was no responses to when the game was going to be fixed or whatever. So finally I just said screw it and just, moved on from it essentially and got a different version of the game. So when it comes down to it, I kind of got shot in the foot by the developers because they wouldn't fix it. And the problem I had at the time was I sat here in the bug section of the game and in the fixes and where you're supposed to put stuff in the forum, and I was making stuff about this and they kept deleting my stuff, and I'm like, why am I getting deleted? Like, I'm just proving you know, and I wasn't mean about it. I was like, hey, this is in the game, this kind of needs to be fixed, etc., stuff like that. And, you know, then I made a video about that, and for whatever reason, the video about that sat here, and they put a copyright claim on my video about me making a video about them taking down my post on the Shadow of War community channel. And there was a claim, and I know it wasn't automated either, because it was like 3 to 5 days after the video had been uploaded, and it was manually reviewed, it said. So when it came down to it, the channel essentially got, you know, demolished by simply the game didn't work, lots of technical issues that we overcame, you know, and I was uploading content on my other channel as well. You know, you guys can go check out that channel. I'm not that active on it anymore because I've switched my main focus to this channel. But, you know, recently, the reason why the channel kind of died a little bit again is because of health reasons. Not exactly sure what the issue is, so still trying to figure out and get it figured out. So it's just like I sit here, you know, and I don't have a lot of energy. Like I sit here and I go do things I need to do, come home, and I immediately feel like I have to go to sleep. You know, I can't, you know, I stay up for like maybe an hour, enough to eat, and I go to sleep. So when it comes down to it, you know, I can't sit here and stay up making content, stuff like that, because I'm just so exhausted all the time, it feels like. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.